The Toronto Blue Jays have a major decision to make when it comes to their outfield alignment. Things get a lot clearer when Dalton Varsho is cleared to play center field yet again, but we don't know when that's going to be. He's looked great in spring, but what are the answers? What is the lineup going to look like on opening day, which is just one sleep away? We'll break that down and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vrionis, and the Toronto Blue Jays and the rest of Major League Baseball are just one sleep away from beginning their regular season. I don't know about you guys, but this spring training has felt longer than ones in years past, and I cannot wait for some real baseball to actually begin. Before we get into all of this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. A large percentage of you who are watching these videos are not subbed to the channel, but we're close to 3,000, and hopefully by the end of the first week of the Major League Baseball season, we could get to that number. But your support has been incredible, so let's keep it going. And I did want to get into this. Now, Alan Roden is the player I wanted to discuss today. And this tweet here from Kev Mazaregian, I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry about that. It's Rotosurgeon, his at on, or his handle on X, that is. So, Alan Roden has my attention. 2023 in Double-A ball, he hit 310 with a 421 on base and a 460 slug. He walked 12.4% of the time and only struck out 15.3% of the time with a 147 WRC plus, which is 47% better than league average. And then in 2024 in AAA, he batted 293 with a 391 on base, and his slugging percentage actually went up. So his base on balls numbers and his K numbers pretty much the same all across the board there, and a 136 WRC plus. So he did take a bit of a step back once he got to AAA, but not really that much of a downgrade when you think about it. So the power increased, the walks and the on base kind of decreased a little bit, but that's expected with better pitching and better competition for the most part, more polished competition that is in AAA ball. So Alan Roden is a very interesting case when we're examining the potential Blue Jays lineups on opening day. And the reason I'm saying this is I don't know if this is going to be a conversation or a talking point if we fast forward 1 month into the season and Dalton Varsho is back and playing center field every day. I don't know if that is going to cloud our judgment at all. But right now, as it stands, the Blue Jays have George Springer right field. They have Anthony Santander in left and Dalton Varsho DHing because he did show that he could still hit despite the shoulder surgery and not being able to throw in the outfield. Now, will that derail him a little bit? Will that delay his comeback into the lineup? Maybe, but the Blue Jays are not in a position to take a power bat out of the lineup, at least without not without a major addition, right? So as it stands right now, Dalton Varsho is going to be the DH. You're going to have Santander in left most likely. Try to maybe kind of nurture him and not really have him cover too much ground. And then in right field, you're presumably going to have George Springer, or the counter argument that I do propose here is: does George Springer move over to center field? And then you have Alan Roden play right field. So obviously we know George Springer very comfortable in center field, hasn't played it in a couple of years, at least regularly that is, but I still trust him to go out there and be solid for a month, defensively that is. I don't have too much faith in the bat of George Springer, but I'll digress. That's a problem that we'll examine another day. But I think you're better suited, and the offense is better suited if you have George Springer in center field and if you have Alan Roden in right, as opposed to starting Nathan Lucas every day, as opposed to maybe going with the Davis Schneider, who did have a very strong spring. I'm not going to take that away from him, but I don't know if you want Davis Schneider having everyday reps in the outfield, because defensively, that would be an absolute disaster. Like I mentioned, I have faith in George Springer to cover center field for if it's a month or maybe a month and a half. But beyond that, I don't know. So my lineup, my ideal lineup, would be Ernie Clement at third base, be Bo Bichette at short, obviously, Andres Jimenez at second base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Alejandro Kirk behind the backstop and doing the catching. And then the outfield is where it gets interesting. You know that Anthony Santander is a lock. There's no doubt about that. Whether he DHs later in the season or plays left field early in the year, I think it's a given that he's going to be in the lineup every single day. And then you have George Springer making $25 million a year. He also figures to be a regular in the lineup unless he's as bad as we think he can be and he's just completely out of the lineup altogether. So you have one spot open. You have Nathan Lucas on your roster. You have Davis Schneider. You also obviously have Alan Roden, and I think Alan Roden, the way that he's performed in this spring, the left-handed bat, there is no way that you can deny this guy of an opening day start against the Baltimore Orioles. And the Blue Jays' schedule to open up the season is tough. So you got to go with your best possible lineup. The first month is an absolute gauntlet to open up your season. You can't tinker, you can't play around. You got to find what works right away, and you got to roll with that because how many times has your favorite team lost some close games or some games that they should have won earlier on in the year, and then you look back at the standings and they missed the wild card by one game, or they missed the playoffs by a game? Well, that happened to the Blue Jays a few years ago when they looked like World Series favorites down the stretch and then ended up missing the playoffs because of a couple of things that didn't go their way earlier in the season. So you don't want to leave it up to chance. You want to play your best every single day to start the season. You're going to obviously want to manage guys and keep guys healthy all season long. There's no doubt about that. But your number one priority early in the year is to field your best lineup and to try to get as many wins as just get on a roll. And I think having Alan Roden in your lineup every day, at least against righties, to start, that gives you the best chance to win ball games. And that's what the Blue Jays need to do. They are in a dangerous situation this year with the uncertainty surrounding Vladdy, surrounding Bo, heading into next season. You don't know if you're going to have those guys, so this could be the last dance with those two as your core pieces. You want to make the most of it, and in order to do that, I think Alan Roden needs to start on opening day because he's shown just about all he could in the minor leagues, and now I think it's time. I truly think it's time for him to step into a starting role as of day one, as of opening day against the Orioles. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of Alan Roden being an everyday player, at least while Dalton Varsho tries to get fully healthy and get back into the lineup? But I will see you all tomorrow, and go Jays. Hopefully they start the season off on a strong point.